What?
It'll just be nothing there.
Oh, no. I think I knew it wasn't.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Stoked to be the Stokes with Brian and Ariana. It's about to get real, you better believe me. Just got married, trying to make it through life. See, with
Love, faith, honesty, and respect, we'll get through anything.
Stoked to be the Stokes, yeah. Yes, we are. Stoked to be the Stokes, yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Stoked to be the Stokes with Brian Lamar Stokes.
And Ariana Stokes.
This episode is titled Friends.
How
many of us have them? Friends. One you can depend on. Huh? You moved to LA. We moved to LA. And one thing, when you move to LA, you come out of everything that you know. Mm-hmm. And you come into this magical land of where all your dreams are about to come true before your savings account runs out. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sweating early.
Just a little.
It's the new ring light.
It's hot today. I'm just gonna.
Okay, Ariana.
Come on, just so you camera good. Okay.
Thanks.
I love you.
Love you too.
Okay.
So you move out of where you from, you come to LA, and then you meet all these new people, and you think that everybody's your friend.
It feels like everybody.
It feels like everybody.
So many friends.
Like you're making so many friends.
Yeah.
And then you keep on living, you keep on moving, and you start to notice that everybody really isn't your friend.
Right.
And then as you get older, because I moved to LA when I was 24.
Yeah, I was 25.
24, 25, right? She's older than me, pushing 40 now.
I'm 30.
Right.
And so are you.
Less 30 than you, though, right?
Less 30 than
Correct.
That's fine.
Ariana, let me get to my point.
Go ahead.
So, I don't even know what I was saying now.
You were saying when you moved here, you were younger. You were 24 years old.
Right. And then as you move along, you realize that good friendships, you value them so much more. And you start to learn. Yeah, and they're hard to come by. And you learn that you get your group of people or your one person or two people, and you stick with them and move on.
And not only are they hard to come by, but because it's not like there aren't good people out there who are willing to be in friendships, but they're hard to develop, at least organically.
Right.
Because it takes time. Like when I think of my best friends, because I have more than one best friend, when I think of my best friends, these are people who I've known for 10 plus years, and it doesn't feel like it's been that long until I look back. I'm like, oh my goodness, we were this old when we met, but that took time. And I find that with friendships that I have now, there are certain times where I feel like, oh, something's missing, but it's things that I developed over the course of many years with someone else. So I think that's, for me, one of the big issues is like, oh, I don't necessarily feel like I'm in my same comfort zone, that I'm used to being in close friendships, even when it comes to simple stuff like asking for a ride from the airport. That used to be my hang up when I was in LA and I thought I had all these friends, and then I would fly back in from home and I'm like, well, who do I really feel like I'm not inconveniencing?
Your friend is Uber.
Ask?
Uber.
Right.
You can ask Uber.
I'll just call it Uber. Even when you're broke, you're like, I just don't want to bother anyone too much. Never would have crossed my mind with any of my like close friends, like my best friends back home. So yeah, definitely difficult to organically develop. Yeah. Friendships. And so that is our something to chew on, because I found a really great article that circulated I saw it last year, but it's actually from 2015. It's an article from Bustle called 7 Ways to Make New Friends as an Adult, because it's not as easy as it sounds, which is true. So in this article, and we'll post it onto the Facebook.
Sure.
We'll post it onto the Facebook. But it explains that when you're making friends when you're younger, it happens a little more naturally. You're in environments where people are all focused on the same goal, whether it's school or something like that. But when you get older, it becomes a little more awkward. And if you're looking at adult friendships, you find that a lot of people after their 20s aren't forming these like seriously intimate adult friendships. So it gave a few options that people can follow, and you can let me know your opinion on them. Okay. So
Making Friends 101.
One, Meetup, which I guess is like not an app, but sort of I don't know. It's a way to meet strangers by meeting up because you guys are focused on similar interests or events. So I don't know. It could be like an athletic thing or, a special kind of food thing, but just oddly specific events. So that's one way. I haven't done it, but I know friends who have done it before. They've joined like sports teams that were local in their community, or like Black young business professional meetups where they go out to like happy hour or something like that. I guess when I came to LA, I did like a writers, actors kind of, thing that was like a we did write and act, but we also had like meetups outside of that. So that's kind of, did you ever do anything like that?
Being on a worship team, you meet up and you sing. You like to do that together, and then you might go out to eat after the fact.
Okay, so like,
I guess, but
so
other
meet
than
up.
that,
But this is like, like people are going online like, oh, I need to find other people who are interested in kickball or something like
Okay.
that. And I'm going to meet up with them every third Saturday of the month.
Okay.
And we might go get drinks after.
okay.
Yeah. I don't know what's come of that because the people I know who've done it, I don't think they formed like solid friendships out of them. But at least if they moved to a new town, it helped them get a few people who they knew.
That first was a little weak to me.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
little
okay.
weak to
Okay,
me.
okay.
All right, number
Okay.
2.
Number 2, I'm going to modify a little bit because it says go to night school, right? But I think school in general is a great way to make friends. I personally, whenever I think about going back to school, like for another degree, I get excited at the people that I'm going to meet because I made some of my closest friends, well, in high school and before, but also in college. And then in nursing school, like I'm still in touch with my nursing school girls. We're close. And I feel like if I were to go back to school, even like Ashley, when she went to grad school, they had a whole like cohort Bible study thing. And now they do baby showers for each other and bridal showers and all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh, that would be nice to have like another cohort of friends who are all focusing on the same like course material and whatnot and study groups and things like that. I don't know if people do study groups when they have like families and whatnot, but so yeah, go to school. I won't say night school, but go to school.
That second one's a weak one for me too.
Seriously?
I'm not going back to night school to go meet nobody to be nobody's friend.
Well, not
To
just
meet somebody
me,
to be anybody's friend.
not just
Because
me,
somebody means nobody.
but it would be a perk, right? If you went back to
No.
school and you got to meet other people who were interested in whatever you were studying.
Mm-mm.
Really? That's where we differ, because I would probably go back to school. That would be a huge plus for me. Like that would be really. Okay.
To make a friend?
Not to make a friend, but wouldn't that be a big perk to you? Like, oh, I get to meet some new people who are also interested in bringing their different levels of experience from their different backgrounds into whatever field you would be studying.
Okay.
Or not. No? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Number 3.
Volunteer. Now, that's kind of like with the worship team thing that you
Yeah,
mentioned.
yeah, sure.
You're doing things for no pay, so you're there because you're passionate
Because
and
you
everyone
want
can
to.
bond.
I feel like that's a great idea.
Volunteer.
Absolutely.
And then number 4, use your kids, or if you don't have kids, your fur babies or pets, like going to a dog park or meeting
I
up
don't
at
think I want
daycare.
any friends. I think this episode is canceled. I don't think I want any friends. I don't want to go out of my way. I don't want to spend more time with people or trying to connect with anybody.
That's why people pass in their
any
twins
of
don't have
these. I don't want any more friends. I don't want any more friends. It's too much.
No new friends.
Just too
No
much.
new friends.
But go ahead.
Okay, this one, this says up your social media game. And this was a little odd because...
Social media is the worst.
No, but the suggestion here was that kind of like utilizing your social capital. So you kind of use your circle of friends to, I guess, sort of refer people who they might think would be good friends for you. So like say you went to college with someone and, they're like, oh, I didn't know you moved to Philadelphia. Oh, you should meet up with my friend so-and-so. They're a good buddy of mine.
Yeah.
And then you meet up with them and you guys hit it off. And now you guys are friends. Like that's what they're suggesting, like kind of like a third-party referral.
Yeah, definitely.
Not feeling it. Okay. At all.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. And then, shake your friend tree. That was kind of similar. And then lastly, leave your house. Meaning you have to get out. But you're saying you don't want to do any of that. So, except volunteer.
Yeah. I think I want to meet all my friends in the church, but I need to stop because that's not where all the money's at.
Yeah, and
So,
you be getting tired of church people.
Sometimes.
You have
Not
seasons where you're
sometimes
like...
not. Don't. She's trying to put me out right
I'm
now,
not.
y'all.
We get tired
Sometimes, not all the time.
Not all the time.
Not all the time.
But you
But
have
yeah.
seasons where, like, we've had seasons where we've gone and met or interacted with people outside of our church community and been like, that was kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
A different
Yeah.
mixed in the batch.
I think you just want to find some people who love the Lord, but at the same time are not so religious.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time have some common sense with a sprinkle of having your own finances. That's the type of friends I want.
Maybe more like a dash.
A dash? Is a dash more than a sprinkle?
I'm intending it to be.
Oh, okay.
No, but that's a good point because sometimes, and I've been on both sides where I've been the friend that, maybe did not have the most money out of the group. And then I've been the friend that was making like, solid, steady money. And it can be uncomfortable if you say want to plan like a couple's trip or a girl's trip or whatever. And everybody doesn't have their passport or everyone doesn't have the funds, or everyone doesn't have the kind of job where they can like put in for PTO or something like that. And it's like, okay, well, we could
Girl,
do...
you talking too big. LA, I'm talking about y'all going out to Chili's and somebody just like, oh, I'm not hungry, I'm not gonna eat. Girl, come on.
And now you sharing a
We
plate.
all here, and now you just
Everyone.
like, okay, I'll pay for you, I'll cover for you. But this can't happen every time. But that's the kind of stuff that happens. But yeah,
Okay.
that's why I want to sprinkle a dash of just having
Okay.
like your own finances.
Well, I want to travel, so I need like a spoonful. Like everyone
Okay,
has their
a
own
cup full.
spoon.
Got it,
Yeah.
got it.
Okay, so getting into the main topic, we're talking about our experiences as adults trying to make friends, both of us being transplants to California, and both of us having our closest friends be nowhere near California.
Right. Well, I want to say this. So
Okay.
yes, my best friend is. Well, you are now my best friend.
Yes. Whatever.
But yeah, my best friend is Chris.
I know.
Chris is in Massachusetts, 3,000 miles away. But I feel that I have best friends here who it didn't take a lot of time to become best friends because we just understood each other quickly. We had each other's back consistently, and there was never any like disagreements, arguments, having it out. Yes, but there was never like a stab you in the back. And it's always like, I'm always here for you. And I will have to say that the main one here would probably be Brittany. Brittany. And then I would throw Champ right in there with that because he's very understanding and he's always there when I call. And then I would throw Will in there as well.
I didn't know you were gonna start naming names and
Yeah.
ranking
Yeah.
people.
I got it. Three.
I'm not gonna do that. Go ahead.
Y'all can't rank. Then I'm gonna throw Will because he always picks up the phone. He always calls for breath checks. If we don't talk in like 2 months or something like that, I'm just calling to see if you're alive, how you doing, what you need, what's going
Still
on.
breathing.
Like that.
Okay.
So, and I know that I can always depend on all of them. So is it like a long relationship that I've had with like Chris for like 11, 12 years? No. But is the relationships of substance? Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, fair enough. So, and you said you would call them like best friends? You're okay with using that? Because some people are like, I don't really just throw that term.
Champ has his own best friend. Brittany has her own best friend. Will has his own best friend. But when I walk in the room and their best friends are there, I am the best friend. So whatever you think you guys have with other people is fine. But when I'm in the room with them, understand that every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess to the Lord. Huh?
That what?
That he's Lord.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Me, on the other hand, I feel like, and I'm not saying this can't change, but I have my best friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then outside of them, I have close friends.
Right. Who's your best friends?
I said I wasn't going to be naming names. They
All
know
right,
who they
so-
are.
so-
But everyone
so-
knows. Ashley, Brianna. These are people who were in my wedding.
Uh-huh.
Lindsay.
Uh-huh.
Angel.
Is that how you're ranking them?
Oh, no. I literally just...
But that's how you just thought of them. Because that's how she's ranking them.
That's
Anyhow,
not how I'm ranking
okay,
them.
sure. But go ahead, tell your story. So
those are my best friends.
Those are your best friends.
But I've had seasons where I've had really close friends. Like even people who I was like, oh man, when I get married, they have to be in the wedding. And then that ended up not being the case, which is another reason why I don't just keep saying best friends.
But see, now I'm feeling like trash then because when you say wedding, then I start thinking of Kevin and Kevin's going to be like, he didn't name me.
That's why I said I wasn't naming names. But
But you didn't even name him
friend.
at all. But Kevin is like
Oh, you said I didn't name him?
You didn't name him at all. Okay,
No,
yeah.
Kevin already knows I have 4 best friends. We've had this conversation.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't feel...
And we know Kevin's best friend is Christian, but Kevin is like an honorary, he's a gem. You'd be lucky to have him as a friend. If you
Anyone
ever
is.
lost him, you're lost.
Yes.
But go ahead.
So for me, I feel like I've had seasons where I've had really close friends. And then when I move out of those seasons, sometimes those close friends kind of remain in contact. Sometimes we remain in close contact. And sometimes we don't remain in contact at all. And there's no hard feelings. It's like there's a mutual understanding that was seasonal. It was everything we needed. And now we're moving on. Because it takes a lot of effort, intention, time, energy to even maintain friendships.
I agree.
Right? So even with my closest friends, my best friends, there could be times where we're not talking, consistently, but it's no harm, no foul. It's like we understand. And then there are others where I might talk to them every couple of years and we'll talk for hours and it's no harm, no foul. So yeah, but I can't see myself developing I shouldn't say that because my best friend has developed a really close friendship and I'm like, oh, it's nice to see that because I just assume that whoever has not entered my life by this age, like there's no way you're going to reach best friends status.
Understood.
Even my parents' best friends, like I've known them to have entered by a certain point, and I haven't seen my parents develop new best friends in their adulthood. So I don't know. I don't know what that would look like. But that is what we're going to talk about, is what does that look like?
Okay.
Developing friends as adults. Okay, so, and I think the other thing for me, or since we got married and we started kind of seeking out friendships, is sometimes I think people are going to be really cool, and then we start hanging out with them, and then they do something off.
Y'all, there have been multiple times. I'm trying to tread lightly. There have been times where we go out with people,
or just observe even.
Yeah, and we're like, oh, we would want to be their friends or whatever, and we go out, and we're like, we will never go out with you ever. Ever.
And if you're listening
Again,
and you think it's you, it's probably not.
It's probably not
me.
you if
It's
you're
probably
listening,
not.
if we're
Trust
still
me.
in contact. But it's just like, whoa, you had a real good mask on because you act like you have no home training. You steal. You lie. You don't have edges.
Okay. Or
I'm so tired. I don't know.
Or it just doesn't really gel with us. Like maybe we're around people and we're like, we just don't get down like that.
You ever been
So I
around
don't
people who
see
just
us-
make you tired?
Okay, that's
You just-
enough chatting. That's enough chatting. Okay. Just sometimes it just doesn't gel. And so that
Got it.
being
That's
said,
fair. That's fair.
we're
That's
like, okay, we probably are not going to have a long-standing, intimate relationship because we don't see eye to eye on certain, even like behaviors in public or conversations and levels of, respect or things like that. So that's why when those moments happen, I'm kind of like, maybe we just not really, maybe we just each other's friends when it comes to marriage. And I don't know if that's healthy or not, but we've had a few funny stories where it's like, yeah, did you see how, and then we don't get down like that. We can't do that again. Not too many more times. So yeah, so we're going to talk about why it's so difficult to make friends and things that we've encountered. So I wanted to ask you, because I know for me, and I don't know how it is for like males making friends, and not even just like couple friends, like guy to guy.
Mm-hmm.
When you see someone who you think you could kind of vibe with, how is it that you approach that? Like, do you feel like you have to be intentional about forming a friendship with
Girl,
them?
you sound like I'm going on a date with them.
Well, that's what it feels
How do you
like.
approach them? Do you need?
I
what
feel
are your
like I'm trying
intentions
to
with?
date people when I'm interested. Like I feel like if I meet a girl, like say at work, usually it happens at work or sometimes at church, it's almost like I have a girl crush on them in that we've talked and I feel like, okay, oh my gosh, like I want to know more. Stop. Like I have all these questions for them. Like I want to spend more time and get to know them, but I don't want to come on too strong. So maybe I'll just see, how they kind of feel about me the next time we interact, but maybe I should just invite them over, but would that be too much? And so it kind of feels like I'm like trying to talk to somebody. Do y'all do that? Y'all being like men folk? So when you see a guy who you feel like you could be interested in having a friendship with because y'all just get along well,
See,
what do you do?
I'm not gonna say that I'm all that. What I am going to say is sometimes I'm the life of the party.
Okay.
So then people just attract to me. And it's like, oh, people will come up and be like, oh, we're trying to hang out.
But that don't mean you want all of them.
And I'm like, okay, cool. Like that. But I've never been like, oh, this guy seems really cool to hang out with. I want to be his friend.
I see people who I'm like,
I think the
y'all would be
closest
good
to that,
friends.
Scott.
Like I want to, Scott. But Scott was intentional about forming a
he was like,
friendship
I'm
with you.
yeah,
He
that's
was
true.
like, I want to be friends. And my intention is to form a
Yeah, I
friendship.
never had that. I want to be friends.
I feel like we've had multiple people in the past year say, we want to be friends.
Yeah, but I ain't never said I want to be your friend. To somebody, I don't know. I've never had that experience to be like, oh, you seem like somebody that I want to be.
So what does it look like though? Like maybe you invite them?
I don't know because it's never happened.
I disagree.
Who?
I've seen you like say Scott, for example.
Mm-hmm.
When you and Scott established that y'all wanted to be friends, you were more intentional about making sure he was included or invited if we were doing something. Like, that's Scott.
because
That's
he said, oh, I want to be your friend.
Right. So then you also
I'm
had to
looking
meet
at Scott,
him.
how he act, what he do, who he be. I'm like, oh yeah, that could be my friend. I said, oh, my new best friend.
You love that word.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying that's intention. Like you're meeting him halfway.
But
like, okay.
the way I'm thinking that you're asking is like, oh, You don't know a person. You're watching a person, and he seems like he's cool. I want to be his friend. How do I go be his friend? I haven't had that experience.
Because everyone just approaches you.
I'm not saying it like
You
that.
said it though.
But you know
said
what I'm
I'm
saying.
Mr. Hotshot.
Because-
I'm a hot commodity. I'm the life of the party, and people swamp to me and they say, "Be our friend. Be our friend."
Yeah, just like you
That's what you
swamp to
said.
me and you hop on me because you want me. Yeah,
I didn't swamp to you.
You did.
Brian.
You did. You did.
Brian.
You did.
Okay, we're gonna get back on track. But okay, because I feel like it is like a dating thing. Well, I don't know.
Explain.
I've never
your thing.
pursued anyone as a male, but I feel like when I meet a girl who I really want to be friends with, I go through this whole phase of like talking a whole bunch about her to you, right? The things that I like, the things that I want to know, and then I feel like I have to like make some sort of move.
Bruh.
Like,
Okay.
like I have to like
Yeah.
engage or initiate an invitation or something like that, just to show her, hey, I'm interested in being no more than friends. I'm interested in being
More than acquaintances.
and getting to know you a little bit better.
Yeah. All right.
And then I have to
don't know
hope
where this
that
is
she's
going.
not-
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
off. Okay, so that's one thing. But for you, you have your best friend. Let's talk about Chris.
Let's talk about Chris.
What about your best
Christopher
friend?
Lloyd Corbeil? Yes.
What about
my
him?
best friend?
Makes your friendship work?
We are total opposites.
Really?
I'm sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
He's not.
Okay. Chris could be kind of a teddy bear sometimes.
Not really.
He's very frank, but he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very blunt and very clear.
So are you?
But in a different way. Like it's different. He's like I'm like blunt, clear with a sprinkle of spirituality. He's blunt, clear with a sprinkle of blunt, clear. Like completely different.
So what makes it work?
I don't know.
Like
just
what
that
makes
it's
him
always
your best
opposite.
friend, and how did y'all even become best friends? Because this is someone who's been more than a decade. You said
Right. I don't know. We were in high school.
y'all met at school.
No. We were in high school. We met at the teen program in church.
Okay.
And we hated each other. We did not like each other at all. Because it was my territory in which I was.
The church?
That one. Yeah. The teen group. I'm the head and I'm the lead of it. Then he comes in here
territorial.
making people sinners. That's what he was doing.
What?
Making people. I'm not gonna say what he was doing. He's making people sinners, and I didn't like it.
What was he
And I didn't
doing?
like it. I don't know. They were just being mean. Like their mouths, they be cussing and talking a little different way. Like I don't know, talking about TV things that you shouldn't be talking about. But this is like the holy ground.
Okay.
Like you changing. So I didn't like you. You're done.
I have not
You're
heard
done.
this part of y'all's
Yeah. So
story.
you're done. So then they used to call him Fudge, and I was like, nah, that dude's named Frosty. He's whack. You're whack. You're corny. And then
Frosty, because he's light skinned?
I have no idea. You want to call him Fudge? I'm going to call him Frog because I don't like you. You're in my territory. Hop off. And he was popular within the church because he was the first one to get a car.
Oh,
That's what it was.
Okay.
Keep a car. Yeah, that's it. And then I don't know. One day he came with the group of people came to my house or whatever. And then I don't know. We hung out. We talked. And then I went in the car. And then he taught me how to drive. It was like a different relationship. Then since then,
You really let Frosty in. I mean, you don't like him, and you let him into your house with a whole bunch of
It
other
was
people
probably because I wanted
who
to
he
be
had
like
converted
him.
to
It's
sin.
probably because I wanted to be like him a little bit. Like I'm like, oh, I want to be normal because that's when I was like fake Christian. You know, like when you acting like you perfect. So then when somebody else doing something, you're like,
But he was bold in his
yeah. You want to blast your R&B music when you come up to the church. This is choir rehearsal. You don't even sing in a choir. Why are you here? And that's what he would do. That's what he would do.
Wait, why was
You think
he
you're all that
there?
because you have a Verizon phone that is not prepaid like the rest of us, and people can use your phone before 7?
Oh,
it
your
was like that.
petty has
It was like that.
been long
but that's
running.
fine. But now it's my best friend.
Okay. Well, praise God, because Chris is Chris is the most solid friend one could ask for. He's more than a friend. He's a brother.
That's my brother. Yep.
He is a brother. Yeah.
Best man in
I
my
love
wedding.
him.
Yep.
Stop, Max. Okay, for me, not that
For
you
you?
asked, but for me, you know, like I'll use the example of Ashley because I feel like Ashley was a very organic friendship. That was my first best friend that I made as an adult. With Lindsay, Brianna, and Angel, we met while we were still youth, like, you know, in high school or sooner with Brianna. But like with Ashley, we were adults. We were on a college tour, like, you know, at Duke. It's like it was like a Black freshman preview weekend or something like that. So we were both there, and I just really liked her. And she really liked me, and I was super comfortable being myself and super perky, and she didn't make me feel corny for it. And I was like, if we both end up coming here, because we hadn't we hadn't decided if we were going to Duke or not. We were looking at our state schools, and I was like, if we both end up coming here, we should be roommates. And she agreed, and we like just stayed together the whole weekend. Like, she had an embarrassing moment. I was like, I'm gonna come with you. I'm not going anywhere. Like, we're friends now. Like, once I decide that you're my friend, it's like I'm committed to you now. I've courted you. I've chosen you. Like, we're friends now, and we haven't left each other's side since.
Ashley is a real one.
She really is.
I
My
would
first adult friend.
I would tell a story, but it would be giving away a surprise that we have later.
Oh, that's true.
Because she came through
But she
in the
always
clutch.
comes
She
through
is
with just like great
she's
content
such a
and great advice and great like funny things like when I don't feel like laughing. Yeah. I mean, she's a counselor by trade, by education and profession, but I feel like that's one of her spiritual gifts as well. Like, she's been just very steady when it comes to like providing advice, and she's gone before me and everything. So like, she was married first, and she's already started a family, and she's not the oldest like I am, but I feel like when it comes to just family dynamic things and marriage stuff or friendships in adulthood, she's someone I can go to, and she usually has very sound advice. She's very level-headed, and I appreciate that about her. So shout
out to Ashley Benson.
She's someone like, I can't imagine is someone being like her. I'm like, that I don't need anyone.
Clearly Ashley is her best friend.
I could cry right now.
Exactly.
I could cry right now. I could cry. Okay, I have some amazing friends. I do. I love her. I have some amazing friends. I really do.
But clearly, Ashley,
there's something about each of them. But that just stands out because that was my first time. Like with Lindsay, our dads worked together. With Brianna, so Lindsay and I were like, our dads work together. We should be friends. That's how we started. Mm-hmm. With Brianna, we were like, okay, in different summer programs together, and we went to the same high school, and our parents also kind of knew each other from the community. With Angel, we were in extracurricular things together, so we had something that brought us together. We were in the
International Baccalaureate program together.
And we cheered.
together.
Yes. So, like, I don't know, I feel like
with
Ashley was like, I was an adult away from my parents, and I'm like, in the future, if we come here, this will be my first friend. And she was first and the most consistent after leaving college. That's all. Okay. I'm not trying to rank anybody, but I could cry. Okay. Yeah, so that was my, sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, sure.
That sounds like I got choked up. Really, I just burped. Okay. Then I was going to say, too, because when I say, like, leaving college, for example, there are some people who I see now, like, online, who I'm like, we could have been really good friends. But we weren't. We were just like acquaintances in college, for example. Mm-hmm. But now we interact on social media, and I'm like, she is so funny. She is so dope. Where were you in school? Probably the dorm next door, but everyone had their own cliques. And I tell Ashley sometimes, I'm like, I feel like, why weren't we better friends with so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so? Because they're like really cool. And I feel like some of them are kind of forming like on a social media level, I guess now. Like, we like support each other, or like a group of us from Duke were all getting like married around the same time, so we had like a group me with all of like the brides to be or whatnot, and none of them were people who I talked with that much in school, but we knew each other in passings. We're all Black and we all knew each other. But I feel like at this point it would take a lot to really have an invested relationship where we're like updating each other's lives and exchanging phone numbers to regularly keep in touch, or meeting up when we're in each other's cities and things like that. But there are a lot of people I'm like, oh, like that would have been a nice ship to catch, but it's past and that's okay. Do you have people like that who you feel like?
No. Anybody who I wanted to be their friend, I'm their friend. And anybody who lost me, you lost out.
And you don't miss anyone?
And I don't miss anyone.
So you don't have friends from like
high school or college
that now
I'm like, aw.
Wonder how they're doing. Wish we could catch up, but it'd be awkward now.
Nope.
That's so interesting. I wonder if it's like a male thing.
Probably.
Because I love having friends.
I came from a place where people slimy.
People are what? Slimy?
Slimy. Shiesty.
Yeah, but in college, you people from all over.
College was a little different because I was like, one Black guy out of every 100 people. It was a little different.
You were not just at a PWI.
I think
you were just at a WI.
WI, yeah. I should talk about that because I don't think people really understand what it's like to be Black at like an all-white college.
Yeah, well,
like,
I think everyone has a different experience because what you have experienced, I'm like, that was not my experience.
Because it was tough. They used to like for some reason all the Black folks was in like the same dorm. I don't know how it happened. They used to call it the jungle.
Oh.
Like,
who called it that?
That was their nickname for it. No,
people?
that was the nickname for it. And we were just like, Whoa.
Black people called it the jungle?
No, that's what we heard that they called the
Oh.
dorm. It was just like, oh, okay. You walk in, you walk by, it's like, what are you going to steal? It's just different. And then, like, I think it took the second year when I started, like, performing at the school and singing. It's like, oh, he, like, has talent and being in the shows. That's when it loosened up and I got to be chill with everybody. But before that, it was just like, ew. It was uncomfortable. That
I'm
first year
surprised you
was...
didn't leave.
Where was I going to go?
I don't know, a HBCU, a bigger, a
I don't
PWI.
know. I was
That
the second.
not
I was the second one to for the Stokes family. I was the first one to go to college.
That's true. I mean, not that I'm saying it's so easy to leave. I'm just like me. I was ready to transfer before I even really started. Like,
Yeah, I didn't even think like that. I'm like, these loans are here, and I'm just trying to get through whatever this is.
Maybe we should talk about our college experiences one
Yeah,
day.
one time. But go ahead.
Okay, so the next one was. Excuse me, I probably should have got water like you. Okay.
You want some?
No, I'm okay because it'll throw me off. So now that we're adults, we're married. We're not in LA anymore, but we're in California, far away from home and our close friends, our best friends, different groups of people that we've met that have, been kind of in different stages of life, I'll say. So like now that we're married, one of the biggest things that we've talked about since starting the podcast is finding other married friends, which I think we kind of had a partial episode about because both of us had single friends. And we noticed, it kind of feels different when we're hanging around other couples versus when we're hanging around our single friends. Not that one was better than the other, but just the content of the conversations, the activities, etc. It was kind of like, I could get used to this. Like, I feel like I can relate. Or I don't know what your experience was. That was me. Like, just feeling like, I could relate.
You could get used to what?
Like hanging around couples, even though I didn't know them well, like as individuals or anything like that. Normally, I feel like I take a little longer to kind of screen people or fill them out. I'm like, if I see them around, I'll see them around. But we would find different couples, and I'm like, we should invite them over. We should go on a couples trip.
I agree, and some of the people that we've double dated with, I'm like, it feels good to like see another couple interact, and it actually like when you leave them and you go home, it's like, it's good to have somebody. Or it's
and we
like
fight a lot less.
Yeah, definitely. But then there have been some couples that we hung out with, and I'm just like, I can't hang out with them no more because every time we hang out with them, we fight.
That's true.
Or they're just like, it's just like a lot of negativity. Like, it just seems like they hate each other. Why are we even together?
That's true.
So it's a little of both.
Yeah, because I feel like, we were fortunate enough to have other newlywed or newly engaged couples around the time that we were engaged and getting married. I don't think everyone has that, although I know like weddings seem to come in these waves or whatnot. But I feel like one question that we hear asked a lot is like, if you are married and you have a lot of single friends, where do you get your advice from? Or who do you feel comfortable going to if you're having like this is what's going on and it's not a permanent problem but it's just irking right now. Like, who can you take that mood to and feel like you're getting some kind of feedback of like, I can relate, Yeah.
I think in the beginning, I would go to the pastor that was counseling us, or just hold whatever it was in, because I don't have a lot of male friends at that time in healthy relationships.
When we were in our first year of marriage, you mean?
More like
we are in our first year.
When engagement / first year,
because we were fighting a lot, so I'm like, you held it all in.
I think that's what I was doing because it was just like I really don't. Either I didn't trust them or I felt like their relationship wasn't healthy enough or whatever. But a lot of stuff I was just trying to figure out. Sometimes, like to be transparent, I'm like, let me just Google this because I'm sure that plenty of people have. I don't even remember. We fought so much. I don't even remember.
How to keep from killing your fiance.
No, it was more like. How to forgive quickly, how to make her know that she's wrong without making her mad, or something like that. Like things like that. Because it was just like, what am I doing? How do I get to the point of just getting back to loving on one another? Because sometimes these, I think it made me laugh, but yeah, probably was helpful. I probably used some tips that were there, but yeah, just, I don't know. Even when I think back to it, I'm just like, the fights were probably so small and so like, who cares? Who cares now? It wouldn't even be a thing right now. But at that time, it felt very real.
Yeah, because it was like the principle. Like, if you keep this up, I'm like, if you keep this up, that means that you think it's okay for similar situation to continue in the future, and I
Right.
ain't here for it.
Right.
So it was small, but I don't remember. To me, if I was fighting about something, I was fighting for like future consequences. Like I don't want this to keep going into the future.
And I believe it was so hard with us with fighting because like not that it would even be an option, but like we don't hit one. You can't even really raise your voice because it's like
That's you.
Two, you can't leave.
I mean, that's you, and then you're
rule.
constantly checking me on my tone.
It's a rule though. You can't leave, so you can't leave. And then at the beginning, you were hard to be like, okay, I'm wrong. So it's just like, I can't throw nothing. I can't yell. I can't leave. She's wrong. She don't want to admit it. What do I do? What do I do? What are my options here? What are my options
You could have
here?
broken up with me.
Girl, we was married.
Oh, I thought you meant like during that, like.
No, we was married. We was married. We was married. Them first 2 months, girl, you took me on a roller coaster. On a roller coaster. On a roller coaster. Anyhow, we're talking about friends. Go ahead, dude. Go back to your stuff, man.
So then there's the friends who are married and maybe they're newlyweds, which I was excited about when we were engaged and we first got married because I'm like, oh, we're going to have like a whole newlywed community. But then what we found was ain't nobody have time to form a community. We still trying to form a marriage.
Trying to form a marriage. Trying to form a savings account.
Right. Everyone was trying to bounce back from the wedding, you know, that financial chunk. And then also everyone was just trying to spend time with their new spouse and get back into the work routine. A lot of people were still trying to plan their honeymoons. And it was just kind of hard to coordinate things or to put any extra energy towards something that was not work, marriage, or church related, it felt like. So it's kind of like, okay, well, we have people we can hang out with here and there, but it wasn't like the community that I envisioned of, we're all in this together, newlyweds, and we're all going to sit and talk and do like, what did I keep saying? I wanted to do like a sip and paint and a Christmas theme.
She wanted to do group things and just charge everybody $5 to come in. We'll get all the stuff together.
You had to say
They'll come to the house and they'll paint and we can take pictures and video and post it up and be like, this is a new group thing. And then it'll just get bigger and bigger and bigger and all the couples will just come together and we all lived happily ever after.
I love community.
I said, girl, clean your house. Girl, I done bought you them boards to paint on that you wanted at Walmart and spent $20 on that. And to this day, they're in this new place in the box. The paint is still in the box. The cardboard that you paint on is still in the box. Paint brush is still in the box. Still in the box. So happily ever after, you're trying to get all these other couples together. You can't get a couple of your paint equipment together and paint something.
Okay, you're right.
Go ahead.
But
talking about
I
friends.
will say, because now, like with our church community, you know, there's what do you call it? Connects groups, and one of them is like what do they call it? Like for mature audiences, but it's just married couples, and I would love to go to that because even after we talked about how we've had premarital counseling with one of the couples that we did premarital counseling with. After we got married, they kind of did like a post-marital, I don't know, group sort of activity, and we'll probably talk about that on a different episode. But I was like, I love this, being around other couples and seeing where they are standing and what they're dealing with and how they're overcoming it now after the wedding is done, and you know how things that they discuss in counseling, how is that working out? So I still have these ideas in my head. I will implement them, but you're right, I need to get my own house together first. And so maybe it's best to join something that's already been established, you know, and just kind of be involved.
We should have definitely went
to
to the Connects group. But I think we were gone on the Sunday that they were signing up for the group.
Okay, yeah. But it's on Mondays now. So if we just remember and we can make it, I think we should go. Cause
you know what I'm saying? I think we were gone on Sunday. They signed up for them that Sunday.
Oh, I didn't know you
we
had
were
to sign
gone that for that one.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not too late to sign up because
Right.
I got an email. So, yes, that'll be good. And then, then the last group was people with kids, which for some reason to me always seemed like they're not going to have time to hang out. And I know that's an assumption, but I'm just like, people with kids seemed older to me. I'm like, oh, you got 2-3 kids and they can walk and talk. Like, are you in your 40s? But they're not. No, but in my mind, I'm like, in life, like you have to. I just picture people with. I just picture, and not that being in your 40s is bad, but to me, I'm like, ooh, I can't keep up because I feel like I thought that people with kids, it meant they had it all together because you got kids dependent on it. You got a
That's real.
house, you got your credit together, you got your savings, you got emergency fund because you got kids depending on you. You know, you got probably a really nice schedule laid out because you have bedtime and school time and all of this. And that was just too much structure for me. I needed to be able to be like, hey, we about to go to Chili's. You want to meet up? Without thinking about, oh, is it a school night or, you know? And I know those are all
Wow.
assumptions. So our friends with kids, like, please don't hold it against me. But that was just my initial thought whenever we would be around people. I'm like, oh, they would be so cool to hang out with. But they probably have a lot going on.
But we have some friends with kids, and we love the kids.
Right. And I've now,
And
in
we
the
love
past
them in the
year,
house, and we love playing with them. It's
I've
fun.
met more people this past year who have kids who they still live their lives. I don't know where the kids be, but they be out. And they love their kids. But
Girl, you want to go out? Yeah, I'm on my way.
they make time. I guess it's like a prioritization thing, and they have the support system. So my assumptions were not all right. And also, they don't all have it all together, you know, like, because I don't think everyone plans kids when they have it all together. It just, you start getting it together.
Because I mean, if you had it, I mean, well, let's me and you have kids when we get it all together. I'll see you at 40.
How? When? What's going to happen at 40?
I guess we'll have it all together.
And will these eggs still be all together?
I have no idea. Probably scrambled with cheese, but I mean, we do what we got to do, man. We do what we got to do.
So that those have been our experiences, which we know is not everyone's experiences, you know. But we want to know because maybe some people out there have mastered adulting and friendships. Maybe you have found your best friends in adulthood, or maybe you have found, you know, your new community of married people or single people or people with kids who can relate to whatever stage or age level your kids are at. So we want to hear from you. You know, we always say keep the conversation going, but we genuinely want to hear because we're like, how does this work? Like, who is it working for? Because when I get sad, like sometimes I legit get sad, like I miss my girlfriends, like my girlfriends from back home. And now they're all in different states. So it's not like, oh, I can move back home and be around all of them.
And
They're
that's
all
why you were
spread
the
out.
happiest at the wedding. They were all in one place.
That was the best.
You are like in your glory.
That was like a family reunion. I just wanted to pretend like we just all lived there for the rest of our lives. Like that was the best. But in real life, that's not reality. Like everyone is spread out. Everyone's in a different stage of life, living great lives, having great families, great jobs. Even if I moved back, it probably wouldn't be the same.
I agree.
You know. So what does it look like now, adulting and friendships? Moving. Oh, I didn't say we were moving back. I'm just saying it would. I can't have my hopes up that it's gonna be like a reunion and everything is gonna be, oh, we're going out to brunch. Like, I don't know. And if we move to a new city ever, I kind of worry about that. Like, how are we going to make friends in a new city as a couple, no longer, you know, newlywed, but like we're moving out here and we don't have something common to bring us together, like school, or I mean, I would hope we would find a church and all of that. But I'm like, what does that look like?
I think that's where most of our relationships stem from, the church.
Church.
The
Yeah, I don't know what it
Yep.
would be if it wasn't church. Work, maybe. I know some people who meet friends on LinkedIn and they like, oh, I what did Brandon say? Angela's husband.
Oh yeah,
on
he
that
let us send
episode
word.
on
Yep,
Double
on
Date.
LinkedIn.
Someone reached out to him on LinkedIn, was like, hey man, I see you work at the next building, like we should grab lunch sometime. And it's just a cool guy, and like they just made connections. So that's why I'm like, people are real intentional, really looking for friends out here. So let us know if you have any tips, any experiences, good or bad, because I'm sure people can relate to the bad we shared, but good or bad. And yeah, we want to hear it. Go ahead.
That wraps it up.
That wraps it
All
up.
right, let's move into low high.
Low high. Oh,
Low
yes.
high. Do you need me to start?
Yeah, you go first. Let me think.
Okay, my low this week. I can't really go into detail, but I got some news that I wanted it to be the opposite of. And I kind of just went through all the stages of grief.
Oh, the no that you want it to be a yes.
In one day. My teeth are what?
Yeah, your teeth look great.
Thanks. And I went through, I don't know. And I think it goes back to when we were talking about just like in the middle of it, like how you handle yourself in the middle of it. It wasn't my best moment, but.
You've dealt with rejection very well this past year, though, I will say.
Okay.
Like things not going your way, I've seen growth.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it
Yeah.
so much.
So that was your low.
That was my low.
Okay.
That was it.
My low, I don't know. This was actually a pretty good week, except it was really busy at work, but that was kind of a good and bad thing because I felt like I got in my groove. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I really had a low this week. Was I upset about anything this week that you recall?
Nope.
Yeah. No lows.
If you have no low,
complaints.
let's just go with that.
No low.
What was your high?
My high was that there was one day at work that was really busy, and I had to kind of get thrown into certain situations where I didn't have time to doubt myself, and I shined. I mean, baby, your girl shined. Okay?
I mean, what else do you expect her to do?
And I was like, oh.
What else do you expect her to do?
I am a very good nurse. Like,
A
I
great
still
nurse.
have this skill.
The best nurse.
You know, because it's been a minute since I've been in the hospital. So certain things, I was like, oh, maybe I should just like, you know, under certain conditions, practice.
But when you
it.
had to do those 2 IVs, what happened?
Got them on the
Got
first
them in
stick.
because why?
I'm good at it.
Because you're a boss.
I'm a
And it
boss.
had been a minute.
Yes.
And can't nobody tell you nothing.
Yes.
Black girls rock. Black wives rock.
Yes.
My wife rocks.
Yes. And I called the delivery. Like, I'm like, she's going to go fast. We should just get everything ready. Because I checked her. And, like, just the things that I was using my critical thinking and past experience and, you know, nurse knowledge, you know, applying those areas I was applying them to, I was right. And it was recognized by my coworkers, by the physicians I work with. So I appreciated that. I felt like, okay, that's what I needed, that boost of confidence. And I felt like, I'm getting back into my groove. And I don't have to feel, you know, shaky being back in the hospital.
Oh, I know another high for you. Today we were in the store and Ariana bought some new white pants. And y'all, she modeled them like it was the first day of school. You know how your parents used to make you model your clothes for school? She put the pants on. She's like, oh, these are everything.
Even the associate was like, those are not. Yes, girl.
You wait till I find a top for this shirt, for these pants. You wait.
I got
like,
my
I'm gonna put my new
heels. It's all coming together. Because y'all know my fashion game, it's coming together. It's, you know, it's buffering, okay?
Buffering.
It's buffering.
Okay, it'll get there.
So I know that this
Just
was
connect
one
to a
key
stronger
component.
Wi-Fi.
Just...
Is that buffering? I don't know. Whatever.
I'm getting connected. And I don't know where I'm going to wear this outfit to, but I'm really excited. So you're right. Thank you. Because that made me so happy. And they felt good. And for, you know, us petite girls, they were the right length. They weren't dragging on the floor. And I had on like sandals. So I'm like,
petite?
this is perfect. Petite meaning like short. Well, short. Yes, I'm petite. Are you?
I just asked her a question. Okay.
No, you asked a question with a tone. Ooh, you're petite? Like, little known fact.
I don't know. Name some other people who are petite.
My friend Lindsay, right? She's petite.
Okay.
Stop it.
Okay.
Me, I'm petite.
You're petite.
I ain't gotta compare it to
Okay, got it.
I'm petite.
Name a celebrity that's petite.
Like Jada Pinkett Smith. She's petite.
Right. Okay. All right. So my high would be I just had it. Hold on. My high would be. Oh yes.
I was gonna say that's why you can't remember.
I have officially passed everything with this dang job.
Yes.
I mean, they wanted my life story because of the people that I was going to work with. It has taken 3 weeks. FBI, DOJ, fingerprint, sign here. Here's an extra paper. I'm like, y'all.
Someone on vacation.
Just let me start. My goodness. But I officially start on Monday.
And how do you feel about it? How are you feeling?
I'm a little nervous.
Why are you nervous?
I'm a little nervous about starting just because it's something new that I have not done before. And I'm because of the amount of money I'm getting paid, I'm hoping that it's not a whole bunch of BS or something that I got to deal with, that it's really just what they said it's going to be.
The job description.
Just what the job, because I've been to many jobs where it's just like, okay, it's going to be this, and it's like this and that. But it seems like they're, straight, straight and narrow. But I'm excited to do that.
I hope you meet some work friends. This is a new opportunity to make some friends. You might bring new friends into our lives. Work friends can become very close friends. I need to show up to that job. I'll make you some friends. I'm going to bring like a casserole or something. That sounds very like Susie Homemaker. I'm not going to bring no casserole.
And we don't do potlucks, but cool.
We don't do potlucks.
Great. Thanks, Ariana.
Hope we meet some friends. I'm excited for you.
Sure. I don't want to meet any new friends
y'all
at
keep
work.
Brian lifted.
Keep
if
me
you're
lifted,
listening,
y'all.
this is his first week of work.
All right.
So
It's a character flaw I have. Sometimes I say I don't like people. And my pastor said that's a character flaw. I need to work on that. Huh?
Oh, you love people.
I do love people, but I don't like them. Sometimes. I'm kidding. Y'all, if you're not following us on social media, it's at Stoked2be the Stokes, exactly how it sounds. Stoked2be the Stokes. And if you want to follow my lovely wife, it's Ariana Nicole Stokes. And if you want to follow me, it's Brian Lamar Stokes.
And we have a new social media platform that we've just launched.
Oh, and if you're listening on the podcast and you want to see us in action and see the episode visually,
Yes.
you can go to our YouTube, and that's Stoked to be the Stokes as well. Just search it there.
Yep.
We're going to be putting up some more content there. We're going to put up some throwback videos actually, so you can see
our
those.
lives.
And we're actually going to put our little clips up, and just a lot of fun things are going to be happening there, and a lot of announcements are going to be happening there.
Yeah, so it'll be fun, but be patient because we're learning the whole like editing and upload process and all of that.
Yes, but we got it unlocked.
But we
It's
want
all
YouTube
good.
to be like the main platform. So any like stuff we'll probably try to put on YouTube first.
Yeah, we'll put
And Instagram, I guess.
She's trying to make decisions online because she just want to hear herself talk, but that's all right.
No, because you said announcements. So I'm like, does that mean that things are going to be posted to
It'll
YouTube
all be
first?
connected. If you like YouTube, you get it on YouTube. If you
Yeah.
like the podcast, you can get it on podcast.
Okay.
Okay? If you like Instagram, you can get it on Instagram. Huh?
Okay.
You like Facebook, you get it on Facebook. Huh?
Yes. Instagram and YouTube.
Whatever. That concludes this episode of Stoked to be the Stokes with Brian Lamar Stokes.
And Ariana Stokes.
And remember, with love,
faith
honesty,
and respect,
we'll get through anything. See you next Tuesday, guys.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.